Hi, I'm Elio Struyf. I'm from Belgium. I'm working as a trainer for UTU, and I'm also an Office Server and Services MVP. I started back in 2008 at UTU, where I did the first training for SharePoint development. So it's a really funny story that I'm now working for the company where it all started for me. Then I started as a SharePoint administrator. For 1 year I did that. And after 1 year I said, no, screw administration, I want to do development. That was my real passion. And after that, yeah, that's where it all started. So over the last couple of years, I did a lot of branding in SharePoint, and the last, I think, 2 or 3 years, I focused myself on SharePoint search and everything related to client-side development. I think the first time I got introduced to the SharePoint Framework was back in the MVP Summit 2 years ago, where they showed us what was being developed behind the scenes and what we were expecting from it. And the real code was back in August with the first drop, so drop 0 of SharePoint Framework. And since then I started building my own web art with it. I think in the first drop I created my own search web art, which mimicked the same things as you can do with content search web art. So templating stuff and building your own queries with it. Every time there was a new drop, I had to create and update my application. So there were some breaking changes. So that's how I knew how the ins and outs of the SharePoint framework itself worked. I really like it at the moment. Of course, it has to evolve and it has to improve in a lot of things, because right now we don't have the things we need as it was before. So there's some code parity that needs to be there before we can really say it's a real valuable SharePoint framework for the new modern UI. But at the moment I really like it. It's a new way of working. It gives you a model where a lot of people were focusing on client-side dev, but they weren't sure what is the right way, how to do it. Now we have a uniform way where every developer will do it in the same way as the real developers for SharePoint. It's going quite fast. Maybe for me as a developer, I always want to go faster, so I really want to play with and I really want to go to production with it. I know it is already set in a couple of talks. For me it will be TypeScript. I think TypeScript for me, it all started back 2 years ago, where I first tried it out because I was doing JavaScript development, and I said, okay, let's just give it a try. It was a lot of hassle because there weren't a lot of definition files and so on. So back then I said, yeah, screw it, I'm not going to use it anymore. And after, I think it took 1 year. So 1 year ago I started doing it again, and since then I cannot live without it anymore. So that's also for me the best thing that they put in the framework. It gives you compile time checking and so on, so less mistakes during development time. The one thing I would add a new search web art. So coming from the engineering team, and maybe that's just a web art. I would like that they open up the gulp and the webpack system. Right now you have the rig system, which is rigs is something they invented in gulp. Normally gulp works with tasks, but I would like to work in the real gulp way with tasks so that we can create our own build tasks and define which tasks run when. Not that they can say, right now you have 4 entry points into the build system. If that wouldn't work for you based on some sort of reasons, normally you would do your own task setup with gulp. Yeah, that's something that's not possible right now. So that's one thing I would change. I think the tools, yeah, you can say it's command line based. So a lot of developers will say, oh no, command line, all these black things, black boxes with white text on it. No, I really don't like it. Of course, we have the Visual Studio extension right now that you can use. So no more black text, no more white text and black screens. But for me, I think, or for the community, I think it will be the tools, getting used to Gulp, getting used to Webpack and all these kind of things. Yeah, we as a SharePoint developer weren't used to that. That will be a hard one. It's always difficult to say what the engineering team has on his mind, but I would say I really hope that in 6 months we have complete code parity, and that there is a good solution for working with Angular, because right now we can only work with React, or React is the best solution to work with, but you also have a lot of developers that want to do stuff with Angular. So I hope that there is a real valuable solution inside SharePoint Framework for working with Angular.